Yo, what's up, guys? Today's commentary is a Karma commentary. I was meaning to pick her and make a video out of it for a while now, but I just haven't had a lot of opportunities or good drafts to pick her. But this draft, I had an Ezreal, so I just immediately picked Karma. I think regardless of what the enemy support was going to pick, I was going to pick Karma because Ezreal Karma is just such a great lane. They are a hard bully lane and they synergize really well because you're just lots of skill shots. The lane is just super hard if you're the enemy. And I know I generally encourage players to counter pick when they are playing solo queue, but I think there are some AD carries support synergies that are just very strong that kind of like transcends that. So like Ezreal Karma, I think something like Draven Nautilus, Draven, Alistar. Those aren't that great. Maybe like Caitlyn Lux. Just stuff like that, I think, are such strong dual lanes that they're worth just kind of picking them just for the synergy. The higher up you go, the better. You know, it's kind of sucks when you're playing like Caitlyn Lux and your AD carries like bronze or something and they don't follow up on traps and stuff. But yeah, for the most part, I think there are some duo carries that are really easy to play and that are super strong. I think like Lucian Nami. Lucian Nami is a little hard because I feel like most Lucian players are just bad, but maybe like Nami Corki, that's like a really easy one that's super strong. Yeah, just stuff like that you should always kind of pick for if you can. Obviously, I think if you don't play, if your AD carry is hovering Lucian, you shouldn't just pick Nami because you know it's strong even though you don't play it. Obviously, you want to have some proficiency with the champion, but yeah, I think Ezreal Karma is a really strong lane. For the runes here, very common Karma runes with Airy primary and Resolve secondary. You can see them in the corner right here. Yeah, nothing too crazy. Nimbus got buffed this patch, but I think Axiom Arcanist on Karma is just Biss and like it's not worth replacing with Nimbus. And when you combine Axiom Arcanist with Revitalize, like your abilities are just, your shield abilities in general are just so strong. Yeah, very standard loadout. For Karma's build, I'm going the Enchanter build with Moonstone into Redemption. And probably like Dawn Core third. Very standard stuff. I think if you are playing Karma, it's better for her to play Enchanter than Mage. Unless you're like lower elo, maybe like gold below, it's probably better to just go damage, like the Malignance build. So kicking off laning phase, we are going to want to get Prio. I notice a pattern here that I like to do is that you walk up here, and then right when you see the enemies, you start autoing and walking towards the middle bush. This is probably the most optimal way of playing lane, just so you can secure this middle bush. Because once you secure this middle bush, you actually have so much control of the lane. I'm getting poked out here, but you can see that we do have the push. I also went sweeper this lane. Usually when I am playing Karma, I go sweeper just because I can have more control of the bushes. I get level 2 here because we do get that prio. I want to flash W on Senna and we trade flashes. So pretty worth. I am playing super aggressive because that's just how you should be playing Karma in the beginning. But also, our jungler is pathing top to bot, so I know that if their jungler is pathing bot, we'll have backup, and if not, we can just make a play around them. So walking up W, get a nice RQ, making sure I'm weaving in autos. I see that Zed has red buff and he's going top side, so that means he cleared his red side and he is going to weak side their bot. Because I know that, there is a potential for us diving the enemy bot lane. Because once Naafiri clears, she can come down and we can dive. That was a terrible RQ. But yeah, I'm still playing super aggressive. I am looking for a potential dive. Just getting Qs in the back line to splash. And enemy is freezing here. Can't let that happen. It's just super illegal for them to do that. Ezreal is getting poked out. I'm still playing just third bush super aggressive. Get a nice RQ here. And because they are low, Naafiri wants to go for dive. I'm okay with Yeah, I walk up, get the W. I was originally gonna look to just sack my life so we can get the double, but we actually play this really well, where we juggled the aggro like just insane. Ezra gets a really nice Q there, and we trade 2 for 1. I was, yeah, I'm always willing to die in trades like that, where we are going for dive, but which is why like originally I wanted to tank the aggro first, but the Fury ended up tanking the tower first, and then we were just able to get out. So this is like a really good example as to why like you want picking like very synergy strong bot lanes to have a game plan of winning is just good because you can make plays like this. It's also very important here that the way I played it was based on my jungle pathing. Because my Naafiri was clearing from top to bot, I was more willing to take very heavy trades as opposed to us getting weak-sided. I would have played the matchup very differently. So if Naafiri wasn't clearing top to bot, I would still want to play super aggro, but I'd have to wait until I saw where the jungler was to see if he was coming down. If he was coming down, then I would have needed to just not trade as much and look for opportunities. Look for more like winning trade opportunities. But anyways, after we push in bot, I go mid. I am able to catch that in the jungle, and then I'm walking back bot. Ezreal gets a 2v1 here. By the way, that was a good roam timer because we pushed in the wave before we moved, and so the wave's going to bounce back to us. I get a W here. I missed this. Okay, I missed this RQ on W. I question mark myself, but to be fair, I was the way I set up this RQ was that I wanted to. No, let me cook. I swear. I wanted to RQ in a way where the epicenter of the RQ was on the left of Hui. So then Hui has to walk left of the circle, if that makes sense. I wanted this to be left of Hui, but I just kind of overshot it. But no, I swear I was cooking. Even though it's bad that I missed, but yeah, that's what I was going for. Anyways, yeah, after we kill Hui, we just want to shove this wave. I do know that there is a fruit in the river. You can see on the minimap, it's a green little dot right here. I think fruits spawn between like 6 to 6:15. It's like a spawn window. So that's really good to know if you have prio, because you can take more heavy trades and just yeah, because you have prio, you can go over to the fruit. So Hui comes back. We're kind of just chilling here. Senna's walking super forward, so I push forward. Again, taking those trades at his top side, so I know we're safe. And then, yeah, I go for the fruits, since I'm pretty low. And I take note that grubs are spawning in 50 seconds. But I'm trying to look for an opportunity here. I want to walk up, but I know that that's warded because of how they played it. I'm using my support item to CS because I have stacks. I tried to flash and W Hui and then maybe try to dodge the fear, but I just got feared. I want to shove this wave and go to grubs. And I take a recall right after I push it. So this is a pretty big moment in the game that you should always be thinking about. Around 7 minutes or 8 minutes when grubs are coming up. Around 7 minutes for how you want to play your wave and kind of rotate to that. I go boots and Bandleglass Mirror here. I normally would go Ruby Crystal first into like an Amp Tome, but because we are smashing lane so hard, I'm like, okay, I'm okay with just going Bandleglass Mirror straight up. We see that Senna is rotating to topside into grubs, and my jungler isn't pathing for grubs. So instead of going to grubs here and like forcing my jungler to come with me, I'm basically playing the other side of the map, and we are looking for a dive. So this is a very big mistake that Senna has made. Senna showed herself rotating through mid, walking topside. And so now we can just use this information and make the play on the other side of the map. And so we go for Hui, we dive, and yeah, and then we get Dragon. So this is kind of like the ideal way of how you want to play objectives in League. If you are behind, it's not the end of the world to give up an objective, and you can just go on the other side of the map. And then it's like this is pretty important when you are playing support. I feel like this is a pretty common problem that occurs, is that Senna makes like a classic mistake of overstaying. Not only overstaying, but showing herself on the map and then overstaying, which just, I mean, if she does both, then it's very easy for us to make the better call of just letting go of grubs and then our jungler diving Hui. Because I think regardless of if Try is warded and I'm not able to walk to Hui from Try, we're still gonna dive Hui because Naafiri is coming bot. So instead of Naafiri going on Dragon right away, like we're gonna stack a wave and then just dive Hui. But yeah, the outcome was a little different because Try wasn't warded, but end result still would have been the same. So I walk back bot, reset, go mid, walk back bot. I'm not gonna lie, I get boxed out of entering lane. Hui Senna, not as impressive as Ezreal Karma, but still has that lots of range that I kind of need to respect. See how this is warded, I sweep. I'm like pacing in and out of the bush to maybe try and bait Hui for his abilities. I get a big RQ. I do see that Zed is here. TP comes down. Fortunately, I die. Was a little too... I was definitely a little too... What's the word I'm looking for? I tunneled way too hard on trying to go for the RQ that Zed literally just walked through Try. So that was my bad. Resetting mid, just walking straight. I see that these guys are fighting. Bots are rotating, but I still want to move. Fear is going deep. Just see that these guys are rotating. Senna oversteps here. So I get a W, RQ. They're super low, but it's like very hard for us to walk into Hui. I get a ward here. I want to look for something a little bit more, but this is warded. So unfortunately, I just dip out. I get chunked, which really sucks because I just came back to lane. But I was looking to see if I get like a cheeky little kill. Can't really find anyone. So I was originally just gonna recall, but I want to shove this for Ezreal. And then I want to look for back here. Push in the wave so I can start mid again. I don't know where Senna is. I do see that there's fighting on the crab here. Oh, I've been buying a lot of control wards. I'm also a very big advocate for not buying control wards on enchanters most of the time, but in a lane like this where we do have a lot of prio, control wards are just super amazing because I can make plays like the play I did in Try, and I'm gonna have a lot more opportunities to kind of go on their side of the jungle just because we are super strong and we can just keep our wave pushed in. So I sweep here. I see that these wards are fresh, and then I see a blast cone, vision cone hit on the map. So Senna, that means Senna went around through Try, which is insane for her to do. We get a nice RQ, chaining it with the Orianna ult, and so we get one. Ryze unfortunately gets away, but Naafiri wants to look for more, so we go in. Mistake here was that Senna was looking for a play even though she had no prio. We're still chasing. I see that Ryze is really low, kind of hovering, so I loop around, go for an RQ, immediate flash. I thought that would kill, but it would not. So then I autoed and then I just walk back. So Karma is just, this is why Karma is so amazing. She is, her early game is so, she's like a mage, and then she is able to transition into an enchanter just very smoothly. I go 3 points into Q into Emax, which I think is her best build because it gives you that best of both worlds of being strong, like actually being strong, and yeah, being an enchanter later. So I think for Karma specifically, if she goes Moonstone Redemption, but for Karma specifically, I like going Moonstone first over Redemption just because I think that extra AP really helps with pushing your lead in your in lane. The unfortunate thing about Redemption is that it doesn't have any AP, right? So it's a strong item. I guess it would be too OP if it had like AP built in it. But because it doesn't have any AP in it, I'd much rather go Moonstone. Try to go for an RQ, I miss. It's fine. I don't know what that Q was. Neferi is pinging that she wants to go after Dragon. I walk forward here. I kind of walk forward to try to dodge Hui abilities. So this was really weird. Neferi came bot, but then she looped back around, and I was watching the replay, and I guess I think Dragon was at 1 HP, so then she looped back around to secure it, but yeah, that was super scuffed. That was like so weird that when this was happening, I was like, where did she go? But I almost died. Fortunately, I didn't. I think that would have been a kill opportunity, but yeah, it is what it is. One tip for Karma is that you can play super aggressive and just like play for the bind because of RW and her shield. So I think one thing that makes a Karma player good is knowing the limit of like how much you can survive. So how forward you can play, and just I think that's her biggest kind of like skill expression. I think landing RQs and stuff is like not that hard. And just landing Qs in general with the splash. But yeah, I think the tether, understanding of tether is like what's really important. So top dies, we are able to get mid tower here, but because their topside drop Herald, I immediately recall. Honestly, a really bad place to recall. I should have like walked out of vision. But yeah, I want to defend the top tier 2. That's how OP top tier 2 is. I think a lot of low elo players make the mistake of just willing to give this up, but you really need to protect the side turrets because it gives so much gold. So I walk in, Zed is still in the bush. I'm able to get an RQ, and Rumble just barbecues Zed. And once I defend the bot turret and we get the kill, I ping that autocons in 245, so that means when I reset, I'm probably most likely going to play around setting up the bot side. Our team is just already very strong. I'm waiting for the tier 2 boot upgrade. This is Crimson Lucidity is the best tier 3 boots in the game, like by far. It just gives so many stats, and I think on a champion like Karma, the uptime for it is just insane. Also, I think not a lot of Karma players run Celerity, but I think Celerity is just really insane on her because, well, if you get tier 3 boots, it's like already crazy value, but I E myself around the map just so I can move faster, and it just, the uptime for it is kind of a lot. I think Celerity is just one of the most broken runes in the game. Okay, so my team is kind of trolling here, pushing out mid. We definitely overextend. If you look at the map right now, we have our side lanes pushed, but we don't have side lane pressure because our side lane is recalled. So the enemy kind of collapses on us, and they do lose towers. Sorry, they do lose minions. They are bleeding out minions, but We only really want to push when our side laners can threaten the towers, right? So that was not worth it for us. I am hugging bot side because I want to play for Otacon. Not gonna lie, Sen is kind of fucking me up. I have fruits though. Get a nice RQ. Rumble's pinking on the way. I think I could have flashed. And then still on the tether to get the kill here. But yeah, Rumble was going a little too hard. I'm waiting for Hui ult to explode before I eat. That was a ginormous shield. Karma's kind of overextending. Not Karma. Rumble's kind of overextending. I want to help him out, but I get jumped on by Zed. I'm 1 HP, but I still... Our team is collapsing, so I don't want to recall here. So I'm just playing super far to just shield. This is like another important skill to kind of have. When you are low, you want to just like hover around to try and maybe get that last spell to really secure the team fight. Otacon's up in 10. I was trying to give that to Ezreal, but unfortunately I was just in the area. I didn't realize that it was going to drop the red buff. So I head on over to Otacon, IRW, look at the healing on that. Holy crap. If you guys didn't know, your RW heals you more based on your percent missing health. So when you are low, like I was, you just heal almost up to 50% if you are able to get both W's, the initial tether and the actual tether. Just chillin', taking dragon, gonna reset after. And honestly, we're pretty chillin'. Baron's up in 4.5 minutes, Drake's up in 5. It's going to be very similar. I can play either side. I see that Orianna's pushed up, so I'm gonna start mid and then kind of work my way top side, I think. Pressing tab, looking at the state of the map. Always important to kind of know how the game's going. Everyone on my team is fed, so I can pretty much play around any lane at this point. But in some games, when you only have one person ahead, or like two, then it's really important not to play around the person that's behind, right? So you always want to play around your win conditions. Trying to ward the area. We got a little dodgeball game going on in the corner here. Trying to walk forward. Able to give Nefiri the shield. I get the assist. We're pushing forward here. I am taking the time to kind of ward around the area. Orianna's pushing top, which is nice. So I want to kind of like stay on this side more so than bot. See the ward drop down. I'm warding the cross from top to bot. Zed looks for Orianna here. Ryze TPs. I was like trying to look for something, but I know that they wouldn't check the wall here. So just setting up vision. Setting up and denying vision. See Camille walking forward here. Don't want to overcommit because their entire team is mostly topside. Ezreal unfortunately ends up dying. And then I got a dip. Camille, like, I don't know, Camille baits Ryze here. It's so hard. Like, I feel bad for Ryze. But yeah, right there, I think we had the right idea of kind of like pressuring them top mid when Rumble was bot, but we made the mistake of like overcommitting. So because we aren't 5, we should just be really annoying and put pressure on the map so we pulled the enemy team and Rumble can do his thing and split. But yeah, Ezreal dies first. He probably just missed his E here. E topside and then kind of just ran into an enemy. Here I ego this really hard. Yeah, I'm ahead. I thought I was chilling. But yeah, I get just barely hit by the shuriken, and then I end up dying. That's my bad. Honestly, I was ego checking it. We're so ahead that I was like, I'm down to try to fight this, but I'm bad. So unfortunately, it is what it is. Baron's up in a minute. Dragon's up in a minute 30. This is Soul. I am going to start mid and then just work my way to the sides here. Team is really fed. Honestly, I'm very surprised they haven't FF'd because we're just so ahead. Neferi finds an angle on Rise. Honestly, pretty crazy where Neferi was standing. Sitting behind in the Krug bush. I don't even know how she got there. I want to ward here. I'm honestly very confused why there's no wards here. I think Senna was maybe warding on Baron side, but because they have no wards, we can kind of just like walk in like that. And so with our tempo here, we look to double inhib them. Ori is topside. We're getting a nice split going. Rumble's pushing in the bot wave. And then we go topside. We're just able to get the kill. Fury just showed on the map that she was bot side. I want to get Dragon. I think it's more important for us to go Dragon here because... wait, not Neferi. Someone was showing bot side, I think. But yeah, this is Soul Point, so we just want to get Dragon here. It's like nearly impossible for the enemy to be able to walk in because they have no vision, so they have to be very cautious of every bush. But by then, we already finished, as you can see. Now that we have Ocean Soul, we're just stealing their jungle. Does not make sense for Senna to want to ward this area, because we already got Soul. Senna should be looking to set up like Baron side. Honestly, I thought we were going to Baron, but we just end up looking for the end angle. I am barely able to save Neferi. I get the RE in. Moonstone, Enchanter Karma. I'm level 13. I have 5 points in E. I have my Moonstone. I'm just very strong. And that is the commentary. So thank you so much for watching. That was a great Karma game.